The gavel cracked like thunder against the polished oak bench, slicing through the thick tension that clung to the federal courtroom like humidity before a storm. A bead of sweat traced a line down a reporter's temple. No one in the gallery moved. Phones were on silent, but hearts thudded loud enough to feel in the chest. All eyes were on the woman standing in defiance beneath the cold stare of Judge Beryl Howell. Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett didn't flinch. The courtroom lights gleamed against her black tailored suit, and her signature curls were pinned back with deliberate elegance. Her jaw was set, not in anger, but in the unwavering calm of a woman who had spent her life navigating rooms she was never meant to enter, only to command them once inside. Judge Howell leaned forward. Her silver hair caught the light like steel, her fingers steepled. "Congresswoman Crockett," she began, voice cool and clipped, "your conduct today has strayed from what this courtroom considers professional decorum. I am prepared to issue sanctions unless you immediately retract your statement and offer an apology." Gasps rippled through the room. Reporters scribbled, cameras rolled, and somewhere far off, a protester's voice echoed through the courthouse steps outside. But Jasmine didn't back down. To understand why, to grasp what it took for a woman like Jasmine Crockett to stand in open defiance of a federal judge, you had to know where she came from. Jasmine had grown up in the bone, dry heat of Dallas, Texas, raised by a single mother who worked nights in a hospital laundry room and days cleaning office buildings. Jasmine learned young what justice looked like and what it didn't. Her older brother, Jamal, had once been arrested at 15 for fitting the description of a thief who turned out to be twice his age. Her mother's voice trembled for weeks after that, trying to believe in a system that seemed hell, bent on breaking them. But Jasmine had decided early she would not run. She would rise, college, law school, public defender. She fought for people who had no one, mothers, sons, neighbors too poor to matter to the system. Every loss etched itself into her memory. Every win, no matter how small, planted a deeper seed. When she ran for Congress, they said she was too loud, too raw, too black, too direct. But her district knew her heart, and the people sent her to Washington not to soften, but to fight. That's what brought her here to this moment, not for herself, but for a case that should have been simple and just had turned instead into something deeply personal. The case involved whistleblower protections. A federal contractor named Lena Ortiz had come forward with documents showing unlawful surveillance of immigrant communities by a private firm that was profiting from government contracts. Lena had done the right thing. She'd gone through official channels, testified, provided evidence. But instead of protection, Lena was now being charged with breach of contract, and the Department of Justice seemed curiously eager to pursue it. Jasmine had shown up, uninvited, to the proceedings as an observer. But when the DOJ lead attorney misrepresented a critical piece of evidence, implying Lena had altered the documents, Jasmine stood up. She couldn't stay silent. "This is a miscarriage of justice," she said loudly, interrupting proceedings. "And this court is being manipulated." Judge Howell had turned slowly, face pale with fury. That's when she threatened sanctions. Now, with all eyes watching, Jasmine did something no one expected. She stepped forward, calm, poised, and reached into her bag. The bailiff's hand twitched near his holster. Cameras clicked. Judge Howell's lips parted, but Jasmine spoke first. "I came here today to observe," she said, "but if this court is going to silence the truth, I'll be heard one way or another." From her bag, she pulled out a slim folder and handed it to the clerk. "This," she said, "is the full, unredacted chain of emails between Lena Ortiz and her DOJ contact. which proves she acted in good faith and with legal protection. Judge Howell blinked. The emails hadn't been part of discovery. They weren't in evidence. The courtroom buzzed. "Where did you get these?" the DOJ attorney demanded. "I requested them through Congressional Oversight Authority," Jasmine replied. "2 days ago. Got them this morning." Judge Howell hesitated. She looked through the first few pages. Her eyes narrowed. She turned to the DOJ attorney. "Did you withhold this?" The attorney stammered. For a moment, the courtroom held its breath. Outside the courthouse, protesters chanted Lena's name. Inside, something shifted. The gavel did not fall this time. Judge Howell set the folder aside and looked at Jasmine again, not as a disruption, but as someone who had just forced open a door that others were trying to keep shut. The tension lifted, if only slightly, but the battle wasn't over. Subplot 1 unfurled in the press rooms and back hallways of Capitol Hill. After Jasmine's courtroom appearance went viral, clips spreading like wildfire online, she faced backlash from both sides. Her political enemies called her reckless. Even allies worried she'd jeopardized broader reform legislation. Late night panels debated her every move, some mocking her audacity, others praising her as a truth teller in a system addicted to silence. Meanwhile, subplot 2 was more private. Jasmine hadn't spoken to her mother in nearly a month. Their last conversation had ended in tears. Her mother worried that Jasmine was burning out, pushing too hard, getting too close to danger. "They'll destroy you," she'd said, "just like they did your brother." And Jasmine, weary from weeks of tension and headlines, had snapped. "I'm not Jamal. I'm not going down without a fight." Now, back home after the courtroom chaos, Jasmine sat in her kitchen, drinking coffee long gone cold. She stared at the blinking cursor of an unfinished email to her mother. Outside, sirens wailed. Somewhere deep inside, the ache of everything she'd carried threatened to unravel her resolve. But then came the knock. It was Lena Ortiz, small, nervous, clutching her coat in trembling hands. "I had to say thank you," she whispered. "You didn't have to do that. You could have stayed quiet." Jasmine looked up. For a second, the weight lifted. She smiled faintly. No one who sees injustice and stays quiet is truly free. The next morning, Judge Howell issued a statement. There would be no sanctions. In fact, the case against Lena was to be reevaluated in light of new evidence. The courtroom wasn't stunned because Jasmine Crockett yelled. It was stunned because she stood. She stood when it was dangerous, when it wasn't strategic, when no one else would. The final scene unfolded not in court, but on the House floor. Jasmine stood again, this time not alone. With Lena watching from the gallery, Jasmine introduced a bill named after her, the Ortiz Act, designed to strengthen whistleblower protections for government contractors. The chamber was quiet as she spoke. Her voice cracked once, but she didn't falter. "I don't believe in being polite when the truth is being buried," she said. "I believe in doing what's right, even when it costs you." As she stepped back from the podium, her phone buzzed. A message from her mother, just 3 words, "I'm proud, baby." And that, more than anything, more than the headlines or the speeches or the politics, is what Jasmine had wanted all along. To be seen, to make her people proud, to stand and help others stand with her. In the end, the lesson wasn't about power or fame or even victory in the courtroom. It was about courage, the kind that changes lives, the kind that stuns a courtroom, the kind that reminds us silence is safe, but truth is sacred. And sometimes, all it takes is one voice refusing to sit down.